The city of Cape Town is working to help those affected by last night's fires at the Joe Slovo informal settlement. 1,200 people have officially been left displaced. We're joined now by acting Cape Town Mayor Zahid Badroodien on the line. Mr. Badroodien, good evening to you. Thank you for your time. It's been a busy 24 hours for you as well. Just in the last 24 hours, we're talking about the efforts that Cape Town has been rallying together to try and support the people of KZN, and now you're having your own devastation to deal with.
Absolutely. Last night we were battling with a major fire in the Joe Slovo community of Langa. Thankfully, our teams were able to mobilize very quickly in terms of the fire services, Metro Police, law enforcement, traffic services to the location to bring the fire under control essentially by about 12 o'clock that evening. But it has left thousands of people displaced, thousands of people whose property no longer exists, whom we as a city must assist with. And so that is what we did this morning. We mobilized very quickly the Joint Operations Center to bring all of the line departments together from solid waste, water and sanitation, informal settlements branches, a number of other departments in order to activate the necessary services. And as you've said, today we've used the bulk of the day to register the very many people that have lost their properties and that have been affected by the fire. And correctly, we at the moment have estimated about 1,350 people on the list that we have who have lost their property, about 200 to 300 structures affected. But thankfully, at least there have been no deaths, no injuries, and no missing people, and services have been active since this morning to offer some relief to this community.
When you talk about the fact that there have been no deaths, there were earlier reports of at least one person having died in these fires. Are you saying that that is in fact not correct?
So in the entire Langa community, there were 3 different fires yesterday, all separate incidences, unrelated to each other. In the first one, earlier in the day, there was an unfortunate loss of life. The second fire, smaller fire as well, no loss of life. And in the main one, which had started at about 6 o'clock yesterday evening, all the way up until about 9 o'clock when I had started to receive communication that the fire was under control. At that stage, and confirmed this morning at my visit to the site, no deaths at the third fire that had taken place in Langa yesterday.
It's a lot of fires to have happened all in one day. At this point, any idea of what started these blazes?
Yeah, so yesterday's one is difficult to establish. The investigation is still currently underway with the services on site. There's no indication as to whether it may have been related to a paraffin stove or electrical short circuit in electrical supplies in the community. It's too early and I don't want to speculate, so we'd rather wait for the officials to come back with the formal report. But as we've said, and I'm also very grateful for the fact that besides not having lost any lives, SASSA again have come on board very quickly, having been present last night, and this morning they participated in the joint registration process with our informal settlements branch and disaster risk management, and they will be together again with Gift of the Givers who are doing such amazing work across the country, will be providing humanitarian relief in terms of food and in terms of toiletries to those residents that are affected. And as I left the site just this evening, it was heartwarming to see the number of donations that were making its way in terms of food to that community. And so I'm very grateful again to the kind nature of all Cape Townians. And once again, the city has encouraged our residents to make donations, and there are a number of locations that are available in the Langa community, and we're investigating other central locations where non-perishable items could be dropped off as well.
Acting Cape Town Mayor Zahid Badroodien with the latest then on those fires that affected various parts of Langa over this weekend.